Good morning, children. We have been doing the chapter on nutrition, and we are doing the different types of nutrients, the different classes of nutrients. We have finished the first one, that is carbohydrates. Today we shall move on with fats and proteins. Now, fats are composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Okay, they are made up of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. But over here, the oxygen content is much less compared to that of carbohydrates. They produce more energy than carbohydrates. Where do we get them from? Source: butter, vegetable oils, meat, fish, liver, ghee. Okay. Function: they produce energy like carbohydrates. They are also energy giving foods like carbohydrates. Okay. It is a storage form of food, a form of food which is stored also in the body. It is a solvent for fat. It is a solvent because many vitamins are soluble only in fats. Okay, so it acts as a solvent for them, for vitamins that are soluble only in fats. Now, fat is there under the skin. Okay, the fat that remains under the skin, it protects against rapid loss of heat. There's no rapid loss of heat, all of a sudden no loss of heat, because there is a layer of fat present under the skin. Okay, now let us move on to the next nutrient, that is proteins. Proteins, they are made up of carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen. Some proteins may also have sulfur and phosphorus. Now, the simplest form of proteins they are the amino acids. Okay, the smallest units, they are called the amino acids, smallest, simplest form of proteins. Now, proteins, what is very essential in proteins is nitrogen. An important part of protein is nitrogen. There cannot be any protein without nitrogen. It is one of the main components of protein. Okay. Now, proteins provide material for growth and repair of body cells and tissue. Now, in times of emergency, proteins are oxidized, and from there, energy is got. Okay? Energy is derived after proteins being oxidized. That is only in times of emergency. Sources of proteins: lean meat, fat-free mussels, fish, eggs, milk, cheese, nuts, beans, peas, and there are many more. Okay. Now, deficiency leads to weakness, but if there is severe deficiency, then it leads to two diseases, especially in children. Okay, one is called kwashiorkor and the other one is called Marasmus. Now, kwashiorkor is severe deficiency in proteins in children. Now, this happens usually when a child is all of a sudden weaned off from breast milk. Weaned off meaning stoppage of breast milk. Okay, they say the child is having breast milk, but all of a sudden the child is weaned off, stopped from having breast milk, because maybe another child has come into the family, and that child is given a diet rich in carbohydrates but poor in, say, proteins and other things. Okay, say only carbohydrate rich diet. That child suffers from kwashiorkor. Then the other one is Marasmus. This affects children below the age of 1 year. Now, over here, Marasmus is due to the deficiency of proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. Not only of carbohydrates like here. It is carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Okay. This is kwashiorkor is severe deficiency in proteins, mainly in proteins, and mother's milk is very rich in proteins. So Merasmus is also due to weaning off of the child from breast milk all of a sudden. stoppage of breast milk. Okay, and here also the child is given a diet very poor in nutrients, very poor in nutrients, very poor in carbohydrates, proteins, fats, minerals, vitamins. Nothing is there in the diet. So that time the child suffers from marasmus. Now, what are the symptoms of kwashiorkor? Underweight. Okay, underweight of the child, protruding belly meaning belly coming out, stunted growth, growth stunted. Okay, small, there's no growth at all, stunted, very small, undergrowth. Okay, that is stunted growth. Skin dark and scaly, loss of appetite, edema, swelling of the joints in the bones. Okay, so swelling of joints, swelling of the legs, enlarged liver and anemia, repeated diarrhea. So these are the symptoms of kwashiorkor. And control and treatment, how it can be controlled. The child has to be given protein-rich diet. Okay, pulses, egg, milk, fish, meat. Then mixed diet, or it can be given a mixed diet of wheat, gram, pulses, peanuts, soybean, and jaggery. So this is how kwashiorkor can be controlled. Now, symptoms of marasmus: less body weight, okay, underweight, that means ribs are prominent, ribs are more or less sticking out, thin face, retarded physical and mental growth, skin loosely folded, weak body of muscles, skin and bones only. There's hardly any muscles, you can only see the skin and bones actually. Okay, very weak body, very thin, where the skin also folds over. Now, how it can be controlled and or treated? The child should be given diet rich in proteins and carbohydrates, because marasmus is caused due to deficiency of proteins, carbohydrates, and fats in diet. So has to be given a diet rich in all the nutrients so as to control or treat marasmus. So this much for today. And before you answer the questions given, please see that you watch the link once, twice, till you understand. And of course, read through the book also, the topic through the book. Okay? Then you'll get all the answers very easily. Thank you and have a safe day.